Good day, this is Scott Picken, the CEO and founder of Wealth Migrate. You can actually see here I'm standing in Stanford University, which is one of the most respected universities in the world, and it's actually in Silicon Valley in San Francisco, America. Now, one of the reasons that I'm so excited today to bring you Siobhan Moron. Now, she effectively started Energetic Solutions, and she basically has been building on energetic success principles. She's trained over 15,000 people. And the thing that I like most is that she says we work to align the energy and the heart of the leader with the success of the team. Now, I thought that it was pretty pertinent for me to give a quick intro here from Stanford University. I've met a lot of people from Silicon Valley, and all of them say that this place has a different tempo. It has a different energy about it. And you know, when you consider what has happened around the world with Silicon Valley and the innovation that has come out of it, you know, one guy I met when I was at South by Southwest said people from Silicon Valley literally it feels like they can walk on walls. But when I met Siobhan now, I've just had the privilege of spending a week on Necker Island with Richard Branson and 20 other highly successful entrepreneurs from all walks of life. And Siobhan is a very successful business lady, but also someone that specializes in the energy component. And she's going to share with you now some of the success, some of the tips, some of the techniques that she's used to train over, as I said, 15,000 people, including billionaires. So if you want alignment in your life, these are just some really short, quick tips. And this is this week's Wealth Insight, how you can have the energy, and she's literally studied this over many centuries, like the ancients of Egypt and India, and she's now going to share it with you. And so I hope you enjoy this Wealth Insight. As I said, Scott Picken coming live from Stanford, and enjoy Siobhan. I must admit, I spent a week with her on Necker. She's the most amazing person, and I personally will definitely be doing what she's taught and also be working with her going forward, because I'd like to be aligned and bring that for our entire team as well. Cheers. So I'm here with Siobhan on the beach, and I've been absolutely blown away by what you've shared this week. And I've really liked it, because also often people that play in the energy space are so kind of too cool for school. And you haven't. You've been here the whole time. You had lots of energy. You shared a lot. And there were two things that for me were a massive takeaway. And what I loved most is that they're so simple, and every single person on the planet that can get out of bed in the morning can actually do them. So just share with them a little bit of what is the daily routine that you highly recommend for people, and then how does that fit into the context of what you refer to when it comes to containers some of the studies you've done with like really wealthy people and, well, different types of people all around the world basically.
Yeah, so what happens is when we're in technology, we're outward projecting and our energy gets sucked out by other people, right? And so how do we like get this, you know, all reset in a really quick time without having to take a week or two or a month or a year off, right? And so there's this ancient technique called super brain yoga. And studies have proven that it balances the brain and it actually gets the brain to kind of puff up and really do its job from a place of being fed and nurtured and nourished. And so it's been proven to eliminate Alzheimer's, dementia, stress, improve test scores. So it does this really cool.
Like even the Egyptians or someone did it.
Yeah. So this one was done by the ancient Hindus, and what they would teach is they would teach their children as a punishment. They would teach it to them in the wrong way, right? So they take away their brain power. It was just given to the kings and queens originally. And so we brought it over from India to the United States, a bunch of years ago, and we've been sharing that, and that's one of the techniques I shared with you guys.
And basically, from what I understand, and I don't really understand the space that much, but it kind of gets our left brain and our right brain in alignment, which then, for the whole day is going to really help us because we're aligned in terms of what we're doing. Is that right?
Yeah, so what happens is we're as we focus on business and numbers and strategies and tactics and really taking that next step, we're very left brain. And then our creative side really diminishes, and then we try to get into our right brain, and what it does is it overstresses our brain synapses. And when we get in the middle, what occurs is it's kind of like in flow, like it just drop in and it becomes really yummy and things just start working. And so this little technique it takes only 2 minutes. and anybody can do it.
You said you've got a YouTube video on it already, do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so can I, if you just give me the link, I'll just post it here and people can click on it. And I think you also shared with the breathing. Have you got the same thing with the breathing?
Yeah, I got it.
So I'm gonna put two videos from you, just where literally they can click on it, it'll come up on the screen now, where you're doing that technique and then also the breathing technique. So the last bit was for me something we spoke of, I think the day before yesterday, about these containers.
Yeah.
And the fact that really as entrepreneurs, as investors, as people, as parents, as as a dad, we've got to grow our container, and someone like Richard Branson has a much bigger container than Scott Picken. So yeah, just tell us a little bit about that, because you actually said it's something that you've come up with fairly newly, but you've studied a lot of people around the world.
Yeah. So people in the energy space, in the woo-woo world, they talk auras and chakras and all these fluffy things, and I'm a practical businesswoman. I did a business first. I helped build a whole bunch of businesses and get them big and sold, and that just isn't practical for our day in and day out language. We don't get it, and then if we do get it, we actually discard it really fast. So what I started to study was, how did Steve Jobs and some of these other massively successful entrepreneurs grow from where they were and the way they thought and energetically into the billionaires? And here we are in Necker Island, and this is a great study.
Well, it pretty much sums it up perfectly.
Right? This is like a great container. So we have a container here. We have the skin and all of these beautiful things that keep us all together, but outside of it we actually have a container, and our containers get they get sucked dry or whatever, but as you grow your container and you really stay mindful and use the breathing techniques that we'll give these guys.
And just to be very clear on the breathing techniques and that super yoga thing, like the whole thing takes less than like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and you don't need any fancy equipment, I just want to be very clear, because everyone always has given me really complicated stuff, which means I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? So, anyway, sorry.
And so this container thing is really important, that as you grow your business, as you grow your family, your container needs to expand. It's not just mindset, it's your actual energetic container needs to expand. So you take, Richard Branson as an example, and we saw his documentary last night, and you could see where he started as his container. It was kind of small, and it was, and he was growing a little bit. And then what he did is he tried to expand beyond his capacity in his container. And then whenever he tried to expand, things collapsed. And so there's a real healthy way to expand and grow the container so it doesn't have to collapse. And it really gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So as you're surrounded by people who have bigger containers, your container organically goes there. However, the challenge is to do that on your own, on a daily ritualized or systematized process, so that you can continue to grow it without the dips and the collapses.
And is that coming back to the 2-minute exercise again? Or, I mean, obviously other stuff, but that specifically.
So the foundation is to really do these 2-minute pieces, just really simple, small slices. Like, keep it so ridiculously simple that you'll do it anytime, anywhere, and it starts to grow that container, and you'll start feeling things, and you'll start feeling more health and vitality and energy, and you'll start thinking more clearly, and then your container will continue to expand. And as you use these techniques, and these are ancient proven techniques, I'm just making them really micro useful. And as you expand and use these, what occurs is you organically get bigger physically in your health, mentally in your thinking, emotionally in your ability to handle and deal with people, financially for sure. Financially is the one that shows up always really fast. And then spiritually and all of, so it's beautiful.
Incredible. So look, I mean, just in conclusion, if you'd like to do a 2-minute technique every day and have the potential of being Richard Branson, then you can help out.
So as we were saying, breathe your way to $1 billion.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thanks so much. You've been absolutely awesome, mate. Cheers, mate. So hopefully you enjoyed that wealth insight. You see, what I'm trying to do is just share with you individual skills, and you can see here the graduate school, Stanford Graduate School of Business. It's one of the best business schools in the world. But I believe in real life learning, what's happening on the ground. It's like an apprentice. It's the oldest, most knowledgeable way of learning. It's by learning by doing, and that is why I want to teach you lessons from people that are actually doing it on the ground and that have got the results. So if you enjoyed this wealth insight, I would ask you to please go out there and share it with your friends. My mission statement in life is to create a world of wealth, health, and happiness. And to do that by having lots of fun, inspiring growth, and change. Our vision is to empower 1 billion people, but we can only do that if you share it with your friends and family. Please make a commitment to me to go out there and share these insights. They're free so that other people can have the brilliant information, the brilliant knowledge that is available, and you don't just need to be coming to fantastic schools like this. And if you enjoy it, go online, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and every single week we will be bringing you a new, short, succinct wealth insight. As you know, I get to spend time with people like Richard Branson, other billionaires and very, very successful men and women from around the world. I not only get to spend time with them, but I also learn from them and have done that for the last 20 years of my life. And so I will consistently make a promise to bring you great wealth insights each and every week. And if you subscribe, then you too will be able to get them. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can like our Facebook page at Wealth Migrate, but most importantly, please implement what you're learning from these wealth insights. Scott Picken, coming live from Stanford Graduate School of Business, one of the best business schools on the world. I'm trying to create one of the best abilities to learn on the planet. Let's empower 1 billion people. Let's make it happen. Cheers.